Hello and welcome back to a new video. Today we are going to be talking about a different kind of thing because a Rise Crossovers team has been working on a different game at the meantime. This game is called a Rise Ragnarok crossover. And of course, with that, I also got invited to, once of course the game comes out and all the early access stuff, we can cover the game and tell you everything. But before we do that, let me give you a quick little information overview about what a Rise Crossover Ragnarok is going to be. So, here we go. We already got this announcement from one of these staffs, but basically they pointed out that the game will be considered an alternative version of a Rise Crossover, bringing in features that were highly requested by the community but couldn't be implemented in the previous game. This will include a PvP system, animated combat against NPCs, and many other exciting mechanics you've always wanted to see, such as a class system inspired by the anime itself, of course solo leveling, with roles like tankers, supports, healers, mages, assassins, and more. They've also pointed out, of course, that the game will be developed by a different team from the first project, therefore a Rise Crossover will still, of course, get their regularly updates, probably bi-weekly, and there won't be like a change in any of the current structure. I think we'll be fine, so we don't have to worry about a Rise Crossover being left behind in the dust, but I think we could maybe in some way kind of expect a bit more focus on this new game once we really get going. And that's what we also got the first initial announcement about the whole new game. Now with this, we also got a lot of sneak peeks that we can talk about and also show you. So these are the first few enemies we've come across in the sneak peeks channel, where we can see 3 enemies, which looks like the snake, and 2 of the statue enemies that we will come across in this journey. Now, of course, these are like still the clear images, but I think the modeling on these enemies looks pretty well done, and I do hope they get some very cool animations, which like each of them has like a very unique, like maybe a boss attack or like an enemy attack. Now, I'm assuming these are like still bosses though, but I do hope they really target that like specific boss attacking you element in the RPG aspect. Now here we actually have our first like video release of the sneak of what the game will actually be like, and as you can see, it will still have this like shadow system and like combat like-esque system from what you know from a Rise Crossover, and it looks pretty sick so far. Now of course, each enemy will also be able to attack you, as you can see these goblins, and walking also towards your shadows to attack them. So that means we finally have also like a system where enemies do attack you and you're not only attacking standing still enemies, they basically are serving a purpose of like attacking you, doing damage to you, and actually the animations look pretty sick so far too. And I really wonder how this system will work with like the rising thing, and actually how many you can have in your party. Like maybe they're gonna make it infinite or something like that. But like I said, I'm already happy that we're finally gonna have enemies that really attack you as a player, and it's just not you AFKing the enemy at like the same time. And so far, it looks very promising. Now, if you were asking how many shadows we could also equip, in this little sneak, you can see quite how many shadows there are in someone's party, and they're being all sent straight forward at all these goblins. So I wonder how quickly all of this is going to be done, because these look like there's about 100 shadows in someone's party, and as you can see, there's like a line of straight up shadows lined up behind, in this case Pylos, looking like they're ready to attack. And honestly, it looks really sick. If we can actually have this many shadows in a full dungeon run, I would be pretty hyped, because that looks insanely cool. Now, following up here, we have the what seems to be like an overworld biome kind of thing happening, where this is basically the entire snow biome that you also know from the anime from solo leveling. And yeah, the area looks really sick. I really like how they've done this. I wonder how this is gonna work with like the dungeon interaction system, where you probably have to like maybe walk up to a portal in this case, or maybe this is the dungeon. But I'm really wondering how they're gonna set this up, because this looks pretty cool. Of course, they're showing off here how it looks in the overworld. And if every single overworld world looks almost exactly like this, then I have, again, pretty high hopes at how they're gonna tackle this. And here we have a showcase of what seems to be how the shadows that you have are gonna target the enemies. and how they're also going to be attacked. And as you can see, we do have some healer units in the back, which are healing the what seems to be our frontline shadow units. So that's going to be something important to take note of as well, that you probably might want to collect some healer shadows that like go with your damage shadows in your party, and then you probably also are going to need some tank shadows, I would assume, in your party. So you would have to think about how your party lineup will probably be in this game, while also focusing on what class you are going to be, of course, in the game as well. And now we have an insanely actually long sneak in this case, because this video was about 2 minutes long. And here I think we can actually get a good grasp at how this is gonna work. Now, of course, we see how the aggro system works once you run past all the enemies, and you have a health bar, which is awesome, because then you have to worry about your health finally. And like I said, not attack standing still like enemies at all. We have this gems currency, we have the money currency, right? So that's not something too different from what we're used to. And as we can see, we are, I think, running an assassin dagger in this case. Pydos is actually almost dying in this case, so he's, as you can see, he's still quite a noob at his own game, so he might have to be careful once he turns up in the stream and gives us some advice. But yeah, it looks pretty sick so far. As you can see, like also the respawning mechanic in the back, right, with all the beams. Here we actually get a very good overview, by the way, on all the shadows, what it's going to look like. As you can see, they were E-ranked, so that means the ranking system for shadows is also still back in this game. So if you want to aim for shadows, you probably also need to grind probably higher ranked shadows for your own party and basically get a good party setup like that then. Now, further off, this looks more like a combat showcase again. As you can see, you still aggro your own like enemies, and your shadows can be sent back to attack the other ones in the front. But I am assuming that still the ones that are in the front still have their own health, so your shadows might eventually die, and you need to set up something correctly where you can probably tank some of the enemies, and then your shadows can take on the other enemies that are like either in the front or somewhere in the middle. Wherever you probably send your tank or damage units to, you also need to make sure you take care of those as well. Like I said, I'm already just like really happy that we finally have a system where we get like attacked, and we actually have to plan around some things to set up like a correct team for this. And I'm really happy how this is looking. We get like an entire aggro system for like leashing enemies towards you specifically. So if you are playing with probably your friends, you can like have your healer like focus you the entire time while you're tanking all the enemies. So I'm really happy, like I said again, at how far this is going. And this one I'm really happy and excited about. As you can see, we also got actually now extra UI on the left side, but here we actually get to see the rising mechanic in the game with like the little pop-ups on the menu which saying like skill shadow extraction possible 0 out of 3. So you still have like 3 times to arise a specific enemy here, which looks insanely sick. I like how they did the graphics on this, so I can't wait until we get the possibility to try this out. And of course, when we do get the early access stuff, I of course will be the first, hopefully, one out there trying to tell you guys the most stuff about this game. Now, this game will also include like entire guild systems, and like you being able to of course play with your friends, like them being a specific class and you being a specific class, and like doing these dungeons all together and get those shadows added to your party and all that kind of stuff, which is insanely cool. I really hope they like put it out of the park with this. And what's also going to be important, again, when there is going to be a guild system for this again, I will be looking at most of my already existing guild members in Arise crossover and get those also in this guild when a guild system for this game specifically comes out as well. I just can't wait to try out the early access, which we probably should get access to as content creators for the game. So I can wait to show you every little like detail of the game, every little best thing of the game to do in Arise Ragnarok crossover, like what the best systems will be, and of course how you can join the best guild in this game. So I do hope they like just put it out of the park with this, and I can't wish them more good luck on working on this game. And hopefully we get a release real soon, maybe. We'll have to find out. Now, I'm very hyped for this game, and I hope it gets a lot of focus and a lot of these like RPG aspects that I've also been kind of like begging for, which I hope was also in a Rise crossover, but I hope they will be very prominent in this game. Now, also, if you want to join in on like all these sneak peeks being posted and all that kind of stuff, like how the tester selection will be going, I would really recommend you join the Rise Crossover Ragnarok Discord server, which I'll also link in the description. So you can join in all the fun. All the chats are like opened up, so you can like even chat in the general servers and all that kind of stuff. And also, of course, keep up to date with all the sneak peeks. And of course, you know, once we post a video, it will also be posted, of course, in that server. Now, that's all we know about Rise Crossover Ragnarok, the new game being developed on. And I hope it really pops up. I really hope just like an RPG kind of game like this will really do well in the Roblox audience. And yeah, I hope to see you there. I hope to see you in the server. And I hope to see you in a next new Rise Crossover Ragnarok video. And of course, a Rise Crossover video or live stream. Goodbye.